Hey, good evening, everyone. It is April 17th, 2017, 6 p.m., and it's time to call the Franklin City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Abbott?
Here.
Mr. Alt?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Here.
Mr. Eggers?
Here.
Mr. Fox?
Here.
Mr. Hukin?
Here.
Mr. Wertz?
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Wertz, prayer and pledge, please.
Okay. Let's bow our heads. Father, let us remember the men and women in uniform that protect our freedoms here in the United States and around the world. Be with our first responders, the fire and police departments that work to protect the citizens of Franklin and all of our city workers that make Franklin an awesome city. Be with the mayor and the council as we handle the fiduciary responsibilities of our city. Allow us to make good decisions on items before the council. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I have one announcement. I want everybody to remember we have a joint meeting April 24th, which is next Monday at 6 p.m. with the school board, and it will be here in the council chambers. That said, we have a new fireman that we're going to swear in tonight. Proud to do that, Mr. Cole McKnight.
Thank you for the council. This is Cole McKnight. Cole's second generation fireman here in the city of Franklin. His father was Joe McKnight. He served many years here with us at Franklin.
I repeat your name. Raise your right hand, please.
Yeah.
We'll start with I, Cole McKnight, have been appointed to the office of firefighter in the city of Franklin Fire Department. I swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and the rules and regulations of the Franklin Fire Department. I swear that I will obey all the lawful orders of my superior officers and faithfully discharge the duty of said office to the best of my ability. Thank you, sir. No blood here. Again, thank you, Cole, and thank you to all the firefighters for what you guys do to protect our city. It's really appreciated. And police, can't believe the police out also.
You ought to be the lawyer.
All right, let's move to consent agenda.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2017.
Second.
Second by Mr. Eggers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Move on to old business. There is none. New business.
Move to read all new business by title only.
Second.
Second by Mr. Abbott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Johnson County Public Library update. Director Lisa Littner.
Sure.
And I just want everybody to know she's in Leadership Johnson County class. We're in 2017 class.
We're the best.
The best. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's fun being with Steve.
Wow, for library.
Yeah, it's a new day at the library. It can be loud, just in the children's department, though. Thank you for allowing me to come. My name's Lisa Littner. I'm the director of your Johnson County Public Library with our Franklin branch here. We have 3 locations elsewhere in the county, and I'm really pleased to give you 2 documents tonight. First, I have a 2016 in review, so there's some statistics there about your public library. And in 2016, we checked out nearly 980,000 items at your library. And most of those were books on the shelf. About 70,000 items were downloaded free with people's library cards. So if you're at home, you have internet access. About 75,000 of those items were digitally borrowed, but 900,000 of them came off a bookshelf in our public library. So that's pretty fantastic. And we had just about 500,000 people visiting our libraries this past year too. Some updates I want to share with you, as well as give you the program guide for the next couple months. We have the rest of April and May in this program guide, all the free programs you can attend at our public libraries. I want to kind of tell you what's going on in 2017 at your public library. We've just gone through a transition of redoing our mission, vision, and values, and that's something our staff did, like our marketing team and our staff and our board worked on together. And we have a new mission, which is strengthening the community by connecting people, resources, and experiences. So that's really our driving force about what we do at the public library. We're really pleased to share that with the community. We're also going to rebrand this year, so our logo is going to look a little different, and you'll see that coming out this summer. And again, we're doing that all in-house. We're doing that work in-house. Our graphic designer is designing it, and you'll see a new look to us in a couple of months. Also in 2017, we are building 2 more story walks, which if you've been to the one in the urban forest, it's so fabulous, especially if you have kids or grandkids. It's a picture book that you walk along a park trail and you read the whole picture book in about 20 different posts. And we're building one in New Whiteland at the County Gate Park, and we're going to be building one in the Trafalgar Branch Library. There's a prairie walk there, so we'll be building 2 more in our county. And along with that will be some little free libraries, so if families don't have books at home, there'll be free books that they can take home and keep forever at their home. We're also going to start an Author at the Library series, and that's starting just in a couple of weeks. Adrian Matika, who's a poet from University of Indiana University, he's a poet there. He's going to come and do a program at the Franklin branch. And we're also securing some international and New York Times bestsellers or award-winning authors coming. So this August, we're going to have a really big murder mystery writer coming to Johnson County. So pay attention, and you'll hear about who's that going to be in August coming to us. We want to develop a lot more relationships with our county schools here. So we're going to be working with superintendents and staff to give access to all the students to at least have online access to our library resources, and we're going to work with the schools to make that happen, so every kid who has some type of device at home has access immediately to resources from our online resources. So we're excited to share that. We're also going to be doing some really interesting new kinds of programs and offering some new things to check out. In a couple of months, you'll see some board games you can check out from the library. So if there's some like Settlers of Catan, if your family's always wanted to try that, but you don't really want to spend the $40 to pay for it, you want to try it out at the library first, you can check it out and see how that is, have a couple weeks to play with your family. Another thing we're going to be circulating are colorblind corrective glasses, which are for red and blue colorblindness. I think it's red and green. Actually, 1 in 12 men are colorblind, and I just met a man literally 2 nights ago at an outreach who could not tell the difference between orange and green and red. And I was telling him, hey, in a couple of weeks you'll be able to check out these glasses and try them out. There's something, each branch will have 1 pair that people can borrow and use for a little while and see if it works for them, because it works for a lot of people. Another out-of-the-box kind of thing we're doing is a lot more STEAM programming, and we're going to start a 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten challenge for our preschoolers to make sure that they're ready for kindergarten. That's going to kick off in August this year. And if you guys have newsletters that you can share some of our library programs, please let me know. We'd love to give you some content to put in to share with your constituents, or if you have constituent meetings, we'd love to give you some flyers about our programs. Because if you're a resident of Franklin, you qualify for a free library card, and we want to make sure that every resident is using the resources that are available to them. And that's all I have. Unless you have any questions about the public library, I'm happy to answer some.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. It's good times. At the Franklin branch, we were able to do a little bit of renovation in 2016, and we're seeing a lot more people coming into the Franklin branch, and that's been really nice. Just new carpet. We had to replace it for 30 years. Yeeks. And so it smells better in there too. But we added some early childhood playing, different kind of hands-on modules for kids, and that's really increased the number of preschool children coming to the library at Franklin too, so we're really happy about that this year.
Lisa, just curious, would you mind coming back next Monday to the joint meeting with the high school?
I would love to, let me check my calendar. I think I might be at another town council meeting, but I will absolutely, if I'm free,
Okay.
be happy to.
Have you presented to the school board?
No, they're on my list.
Oh,
So I will be presenting to the school board. I'm scheduled to do that too. But I think at least once a year, I'd love to come and tell you all kind of what's happening at the library, so you're aware of it, and I'll be able to answer any questions you guys have or suggestions you might have as well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Next, 2016 REC Annual Report. Krista Lynn.
Good evening, Crystal Linke, Community Development Director. This is your yearly report of the Redevelopment Commission activities for the previous year, so you should have all received a copy. And I can give just a few highlights. I won't take too much time. It does state the RDC members, any of those that were changed out at the beginning of the year would be new for this year, but we haven't had any changes. The second page shows the encumbrances, so resolutions that were continued through 2016. We had several from 2014, 2015, and then all of the new resolutions. I will not go through all 33 of those. You can look at those and see the approved amount, and then at the end of the description is the amount that was actually spent out of each of those. There's a list of several grants and loans that were made through the Redevelopment Commission. And then at the end is probably the best summary, the different funds that we had, the amount of funds on hand at the close of the calendar year of 2016. The TIF control fund was $3,613,000. The revenue bond proceeds, $1,125,000. They have a RDC capital fund that had $5,000. The TIF control fund, which was in the form of investment, along with the capital fund, that was $3.3 million, and then $400,000. We are required to have the revenue bond reserve account for the bond, the 2015 bond, and then the remainder of the bond. So the total funds on hand at the end of 2016 was $16,040,915. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. There's a map at the end that shows the property owned by the Redevelopment Commission. Those are the parking lots where the farmers market is held. To the west of the west annex, which is the southwest corner of Jefferson and Jackson Street. And then any other projects that were begun in 2016 but were not finished are listed below for other projects. Does anybody have any questions?
Anybody up here have any questions?
Nope.
How about anybody in the crowd?
Chris, on your questions, I just appreciate the work that the RDC is doing and continuing to do, so I appreciate your hard work.
Okay. Thank you. You're up next again, Krista. So, number 3, Common Council Resolution Number 17-03, a resolution setting forth final action and determining an economic revitalization area and confirming Resolution 2017-02 from April 3rd, 2017, and Common Council Resolution Number 17-04, a resolution granting tax abatement for innovative 3D manufacturing.
Thank you. At your last meeting, you heard Resolution 2017-02. That was the introduction or declaratory resolution to create the economic revitalization area, which is required before a tax abatement can be granted. So tonight you have the second step in that process, which is the confirming resolution. That's Resolution 2017-03. I believe we have to have a public hearing at this point before that resolution can be approved. Once that is approved, then we can move on to the resolution actually granting the tax abatement, which is Resolution 1704.
Okay, I will at this time ask for a motion for a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Austin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are open for a public hearing. Does anybody have any comments? Any questions? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. Is there any questions up here? I think we're, if not, looking for a motion to approve.
Well, we're looking for a motion first to do 1703, and then depending upon how that action is taken, I think I know, then we'll move forward and have a approval of resolution 1704. Is that correct, President?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve Common Council Resolution Number 17-03.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wertz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we need a motion for 1704.
Mayor, make a motion Common Council Resolution Number 17-04 for approval.
Second.
I think that's second by Mr. Fox. First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, we're passed.
And just to clarify, that was for the 3-year recommendation with the 5% fee from the Economic Development Commission. And the schedule was Exhibit C for the percentage for each of those 3 years.
It was a unanimous decision at the Economic Development Commission meeting, which we discussed at our last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Rosen. Okay. Krista, to you again, request approval of the yearly tax abatement compliance reports.
This is the last, which I would, sorry, don't get excited, it's not the last batch of compliance reports. There will be one more. This is the second of 3. And Ronnie worked on most of these. There's a few that were new that I worked on, so I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. But you have the compliance reports for each of these. There are several. I won't go through them individually, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. The Economic Development Commission did meet last week and approved or recommended approval of all of these that you have before you tonight. There was one that they had some additional questions on that I have some follow-up to do with that company, and so that'll come back at a special meeting. And then we have some additional ones that either were turned in late or still haven't been turned in yet, that we're trying to get those from those companies, and so we will have a special meeting to get those finished up. These are due back to the county before May 15th, so we have to get them through EDC and then bring them to you for review and approval before those can be sent to the county, and those are due by May 15th. So I would hope that either at your next meeting or the following meeting, you'll have the remainder of those for review and approval.
Because it was my understanding in reviewing all of these, I did, that the EDC recommended,
They recommend
found substantial compliance in all of these.
for all the rest, yes.
Anything to add, Mr. Rosen?
I was just going to add what Lynn had mentioned, that it was recommended they were all in substantial compliance.
And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody here does, but just in case you don't, Mr. Austin is on the Economic Development Commission group, so he's our representative that reports back to us. Thank you. Any questions with anybody? Okay, we need a motion.
Move to approve the yearly tax abatement compliance reports.
Second.
Second by Mr. Fox. All those in favor?
Aye.
Almost said it. I didn't.
Hold that.
Yeah, I had to hold back. Okay, other business. I think we do have something under other business with our energy efficiency clients or, study where we're at. I know, Keith, you did.
Yeah, I had spoke to two of the references that were given to us. I have a voicemail into the third one. I've not heard back. I did speak with Morgan County and I did speak to Bourbon County, Kentucky. Both of them very highly recommend the Perfection Group. They both have been very, very happy with their processes. Bourbon County, Kentucky's in their third year now. And they said that, he told me that their performance that they gave them, they've actually doubled what their performer was as far as their sales. Both groups did pull out their fleet side of it. They're doing only the facilities management side of it. And I think that's something that we've been discussing as well. But very favorable. Both of them very willing to provide us with additional information, which I spoke with Ms. Gray, that I think we are going to request maybe to see an RFP, or at least Morgan County, see their RFP. Other than that, everything sounds really good.
And I think the reason I brought this up under other business, during our department head meeting today, it was brought to my attention, the Parks Department, as we know, is the one that has the biggest, what we want to call the savings or the biggest investment of improvements. And Chip had a, I don't understand how their system works, but they had a leak which had about $15,000 worth of damage to one of the floors in Beeson Hall. And they got that fixed temporarily, and they come in this week, and there was another leak popped up somewhere else. Not quite the damage, but that system that they have at the rec center has been something that Chip has been telling us about for the last, 5 years, that we need to be thinking about something. So I'm telling him today, well, it's going to take a while to get this done, and what would be the cost to replace this system, and it's about $500,000. So that's why I'm thinking we either need to, am I correct? Rick can probably answer these questions if you have any better than I'm trying to explain it. But, so I think if we authorize, and Lynn can tell us here, to carry forward with an RFP, that does not mean that we're going to do the project. That just means that we can move it forward in case we do decide to do the project, and not be held up for a couple months trying to figure out where we're going to go. This will just get us a little farther ahead in the process. So can you help?
Sure, I can. At the presentation that was given to you gentlemen last week, the process is such as that the city authorizes an RFP. The council is the one that must authorize the preparation of the RFP pursuant to the code provisions that were cited. The council can instruct the Board of Works to accept the proposals in terms of having a meeting, accept them, and then bring them back to you. My hesitancy when I asked last week, or last meeting, I'm sorry, who does the RFP, I think some people were led to believe that that's what we were hiring that people to do. That is not the case. They supplied us an RFP, but obviously my concern is when someone supplies you an RFP, it is typically slanted so that they are the winning bidder. And so I think it requires a little more detail on our part, or at least look at it to see that we're not foreclosing other people that may be interested in responding to the RFP. That was my reason in asking maybe to see Morgan County's and some other RFPs are structured to see if we could open it up. Now, it may be you only get one response, but I don't think that's probably the best way to do it, is choose somebody else's RFP. I'm willing to prepare it if you direct me to do it. I'll figure out a way to get it done. I don't know that we'll have a lot of the details in terms of, we're talking about improvements to heating and air, and we're talking about fleets, and we're talking about lots of things. And I don't know how many details you can get, but we could start the process and just not move forward if we don't find it to be particularly appropriate, or if we don't like it, or we want some, or not all of it, then we can do that. And I will do it so instruct, but it does require us to do an RFP and do a legal ad to get the process started.
And I might just add my thoughts. If we decide not to go that route, we can always figure out where to pay for the system ourselves and go with the efficient system that we have. We just need to be prepared that that may be the route we have to go. So either way, we're going to have to make a decision. We either come up with the money to replace this, and there's other systems down in the city that needs to be fixed, also replaced. So it's something we got to think about. So
Mayor, is this a HVAC system? You said that.
yeah,
and water.
can you help us here with a little bit, Brent?
They've got significant issues.
Stephanie, are you picking this up? Okay, thank you.
Significant issues with the cooling tower and the main line that circulates the glycol. And you'll find it referenced in the report that you all received copies of. So it had a significant leak and did some damage. And they've got it up and running at this point, but it needs significant attention very soon.
And when you say, Rick, when you say very soon, so let's make the assumption that we're in this process and we do approve the Perfection Group or whoever that group might be to take over this. I guess I'm wondering is if we have to replace this system right now, I'm wondering if they're going to allow that to fall into their, because the part of this plan is a maintenance part of that and part of this maintenance plan on this. And I guess I'm just wondering timing wise, how this may all play out.
Yeah, it may. I didn't get a lot of details. I heard a lot of it for the first time with the mayor this morning, but it may last until we reach the point at which you can pick and choose from your projects or
Rick, haven't we replaced that once already?
not that.
We replaced the roof.
You replace you replace a large cooling unit on the roof. This is something different.
It is different.
Yes, this is different. But you are remembering correctly. A large unit was recently replaced that required cutting a hole in the roof. Using a crane to get it in. I think the mayor's thought was that, if you authorized, the council would authorize upon approval of the mayor and legal counsel, when the RFP is finished and prepared, the legal ad order, that you authorize, that ad then to be run, receive those RFPs, so that you get the hard numbers on everything, and then you choose to act on one, all or none.
This patchwork that we just did, what's expected life, this quick fix?
I don't recall Chip saying, do you, Mayor?
No, it's old enough that they patch in one spot, then it starts having a leak in another spot, so.
Let's pay more wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. You voted both of this.
Mayor, have they brought in somebody to evaluate and give this Chip or the city a time frame on this piece of equipment? I mean, are we talking, it sounds like it's a short-term fix, and as you fix one issue, you got other problems. And is this something that you have 30 days, 60 days, or should be done ASAP?
Well, I asked him that, and I don't think there's any way to really tell. But I did also ask him to reach out to somebody and go ahead and get what the price would be to replace it without this RFP. So if somebody else gives us $300,000 and this company's telling us $500,000, at least we got a comparison on where we're at. So I did ask him to get a price on replacing it.
As you gentlemen know, we can do emergency repairs. We have to do what we have to do. But I think this prompted, and it may last through the summer, it may go tomorrow. Obviously, if it goes tomorrow, we've got to do something. If it last summer, I think that's what prompted everybody thinking, well, I don't know, maybe we were cursed last meeting when somebody came in and said, hey, you're throwing a no-hitter the ninth inning, and then this happened. But since we had that last meeting where somebody, said, hey, let's take a look at all the infrastructure, maybe this is the impetus to move it forward sooner rather than later. And it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
So you're looking for a motion for authorization for you to prepare the RFP documents?
And run the legal ad, right, and then
Begin the RFP process?
that's correct. And obviously, it's no commitment. If you don't want to do it,
I'll make a motion to begin the RFP process by doing the necessary legal document prep and legal ads.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, move forward.
I will. Thank you.
Any other thing under other business from the council? How about council member comments? Mr. Alt, we'll start here this time. Comments, council member comments? Thank you, Joe.
I'd have never known that.
Oh. Tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Happy birthday.
I'll echo the same sentiment. Happy birthday, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Eggers, thank you.
We told him at Board of Works he was 50 when he was sworn in 4 months ago.
Yeah. This works.
Yes, there will be an RDC meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m.
No comment?
No comment? Mr. Austin?
I think next Tuesday is our special EDC meeting to finish up all the late abatements.
Yeah, I got two things. One, plan commission meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And we have 2 items on the agenda. And I know the second comment is, brought this up before, about trash for recycling. Monday's my pickup in my area. And either Sunday night, I'm getting that recycled trash, put them out in there. And the neighbors coming over to me, I'm picking stuff out of my yard. Is there any way, when we negotiate our trash pickup, that we can have covered recycle bins instead of having these cereal boxes, polar cups, everything else pulling out?
And I'm going to ask Rick again. I'm leaning on you tonight, Rick. So since you kind of orchestrated that contract.
Thanks for being here, Rick.
Yeah.
Currently, the specification is just that the hauler has to provide an 18-gallon container. We could put that in, if they have to, a container, you see them in the Walmarts, I suppose, that have the lids that flop over. If it's a problem that they're overfilling them, they can always get an extra one simply by calling and asking for one.
But the winds ain't kind to the light
Yeah,
trash.
here lately, yeah, it wouldn't matter. The other option, and other communities have done it, is, use, say, a 90-gallon can, that has a lid that's on wheels. There's pros and cons to that. There's been some recent articles, like communities that tried it in space, what do you do with it? Haulers kind of like that option in that they can cut down the frequency of the pickup. Maybe they pick up every other week, because now you've got something larger to store your recycling in. And so instead of picking it weekly, they're getting it every other week or less frequently. But then, the resident. So we can look into it. Presently, our contract is on a renewal, by the year. Agreeable to both the contractor and the city, as long as there's no increase in price, and there hasn't been. So we can put that in our next set of specifications. Yes, sir.
Joe, our homeowners, where I live, have that issue, and the homeowners put that the recycle has to go into a trash bag that pulls or ties.
I could live with a trash bag.
And you'd be surprised it eliminated all that trash blowing.
Yeah, if it's, they can identify the recyclables, so they can pick it up in any container.
Yeah, I just.
So
They
that
won't
works.
pick it up late in the yard though.
No, if it's not in the container.
So that's something we'll look into.
I appreciate
And I have, before we adjourn, I got two things. One of them, the flag was adopted by the Board of Works tonight, and we did recognize Mrs. Alice Flanagan, who was the original flag designer. She was very appreciative, and she thought it was a good thing that the cities move forward, and she even made the comment to me that things changed, and she appreciated the kids and wanting to be a part of our community. So I thought that was pretty nice. The last thing I got to say is, I know Mr. Paul is probably older than me because he and Jane and I all went to high school together, so.
But I'm much younger and prettier than you are. Younger looking, so.
Okay, I'll take that too. Motion to adjourn? Yes, sir.
Might recognize we have a gentleman with the scouting troop here.
Yes, we have.
Aware of getting a bear bag.
Yes. You want to tell us your name and?
It's not fair.
Great. Great.
That's the same look that Mayor Barnett had the first night.
See, we all did it, so it's okay. All right, with all that, can we hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Okay, Austin, second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Skip.